I damaged the case. I wanted to lift up the case, and it slid off my hands. Yes.
Oh no.
And I had to put the case together with duct tape. Yes.
Wow.
So after that case slid out of my hands, I said, "Oh, I need a case with a handle." Yes.
You were talking about PSUs, by the way. I just want to mention it, then I'll let somebody else talk. This is my new PSU for my new build. I got it on sale at Newegg.
Very nice.
So with the discounts and the rebate, this normally goes for like $119. After the sale price and the rebate, I'm getting this for $80.
Wow.
That's brilliant. That's great. And it's our RGB.
It's
too.
RGB, yeah, and it's white. Guess what my new case is for the new bill? I think I sent it an email to one or both of you. But the new one, which it's sitting right over here, it's the Corsair 4000D.
The airflow.
And this is white.
Nice.
And the only reason I got it was the white one was on sale. The black one wasn't. If I can save $20, I save it. I don't care what the color is. It just so happens that I was able to get a power supply in white. And guess what else I got in white? Again, by pure coincidence. I didn't shop for this. It was on sale. The AIO. It's not a name brand, but it has good ratings on it. It has good reviews. So that's going to be with RGB and white.
Yes, it's a twin 280, huh?
No, it's a 240. That's all it is.
240, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I want to put it on the top. I could have gone 280, and maybe someday I'll upgrade. But I don't plan on overclocking that computer. If I start deciding that I want to overclock it, I may, upgrade that. But for purposes of just the stock settings on the speed and the voltage of the CPU, I think that'll be fine. I could probably get away with an air cooler too, a big air cooler. But I wanted to make it a little fancier. I want to make that build notable.
Well, that should be real quiet too.
What was that?
It should be quiet too.
Yeah, it'll be a little bit quieter. I'm going to also put RGB fans. The other fans in the case are going to be white RGB PWM fans. So people who are watching this, I don't know if this will come out though before I start introducing the parts. It may or may not, depending on how I edit it. They may get a preview by watching this. We'll see.
Yes, sorry.
Was there anything else on your list, Jeremy, that you wanted to talk about?
I did acquire something new this week.
Okay.
I'm actually going to take this into work with me. I've got an identical keyboard on my desk, but it's
getting washed out by your background.
Okay, let me try to turn off the background then.
That's an interesting background. Is that done through Zoom?
Yep. That's one of the
canned ones?
Yeah.
I'm going to get complaints from my kids again because they watch our other videos, Jeremy, and they say that I talk too much.
Okay, there we go. It's a 10 keyless that has they are blue. They're knockoff cherry blue keys switches.
It's mechanical? It's a mechanical one?
Yep, mechanical keyboard. So I've had the same one on my desk for the last 2 years, and the keyboard that they supplied me at work has very little key travel. And I put up with it for a year, and I couldn't do it anymore. So I thought, well, that'll save me a little bit of desk space at work too. So I just picked that up because I knew that, if I ever leave my current job, I'll just bring it home and use it.
You got to make sure you get it though, because I've had that happen where I left a job and forgot stuff that belonged to me. Right. Got to be careful about that.
Yeah, I did that at one job that I bought. It actual had a custom name plaque made up for my desk, and when I left that sitting on the desk. So I'm sure they threw it out.
Yeah.
But and
I left a lot of stuff behind on one job. I couldn't believe it, but I was so quick to get out of there, you know.
Yeah, that was my new acquisition for the week. Probably the last one of the year, since I've got to buy gifts for holidays and whatnot.
Right.
I guess I can put that back on.
Have you ever done? I don't know. I didn't look through all your videos. Did you ever do a video on building a computer?
I have not, because I have not built any new computers for myself
In a long time.
In a while. The last computer I built was about a year and a half ago. My buddy down in the Chicago area, he spent $3,000 on parts. And I went down there for a weekend and we spent an entire Saturday putting it together. And man, it's a wicked nice machine, but
That's expensive, yeah.
Yeah, overkill for anything I could justify doing. But he's got his own financial practice.
I see.
Does retirement planning and things of that nature.
Okay.
So he's got 3 1440p monitors on his desk. The computer has it's an i7, I think 9th gen, and it's got two 1080 Ti's in it in SLI.
Wow.
I think it's got 32 gigs of RAM, and it's got two M.2 solid states in it.
Wow.
But he's a gamer, obviously, because nobody else in their right mind would justify two 1080s. But
Yeah, I can see the monitors. I mean, because right now I'm sitting in front of two 4Ks and a 1440p.
Right.
I have a triangle here.
Yeah. So, but we got it put together and installed Windows, and with that was the first build I had done with a water cooler. So that was interesting.
All-in-one? An all-in-one?
An all-in-one water cooler, yeah. And the water cooler is something I would consider doing on a future build for myself.
I want to try a custom one of these days. The matter of fact, the PC I'm building now is not my supercomputer, Kathrin. This is not the one I'm going to call my supercomputer. It's sort of a lead into it. Because this one, the main reason I'm building this one is right now my backup PC that has a AMD 3700X, it has 16 gig of memory. It has a 1660 Ti from NVIDIA. It has a B550 motherboard from Asus. Yeah. My daughter uses that every day. I can't be playing with it. So what's going to happen? But that is my backup. If this computer were to die, my main editing one, I have all the editing software working over there. Right. So I would then be able to edit there. But I need a computer to play with for some of my videos. And I didn't want to buy parts just for that. So what I'm doing is this computer with the Corsair 4000D and all the new parts, and hopefully eventually a decent video card, that will be my new backup.
Yep.
And as a matter of fact, for now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that 1660 Ti in there as a temporary.
Yes.
And then I have in this little computer I have back here is a 1050 Ti. So that one's going to go in. That's going to go into my play computer. When I say play computer, it'll be that computer with the 3700X, the 16 gig, and et cetera. That'll be the one that I test new cases with. And I got like 4 of them stacked up. What do they call somebody who just can't buy clothes? There's a name for that. They can't not buy clothes. They see something in clothes and they just buy it. There's a name. I don't think it's a little bit derogatory, I think, but I am that way when it comes to cases. I got like 4 cases that I bought that I never took out of the box, sitting right there in front of me right now
you
on the floor.
You can't say no to a case. Yes. I know what you mean. Yes.
Right there on the floor. What is that? A Corsair 175R that has never been opened.
Okay.
Is that a full tower case?
That's a mid tower. I thought about buying a full tower, but the one I want to buy is like really overkill. It's a Corsair case that's a full tower that you could put 2 computers in it.
Nice.
But the thing costs $500.
What is it called? 1000D?
Something like that. Yeah, it's a big one. I saw a build in it that was done by Paul's Hardware. Paul and Paul's Hardware.
Yeah, that's the 1000D.
Yeah, I like that. I like that case, man. It's beautiful. It's tremendous.
That case is like 32 kilos empty.
It's big. I look at it all the time because they had it at Micro Center on display. And every time I go to Micro Center, I have to go pay to visit and open up the glass door. It just swings open like this one. This one here, the glass door just swings open. And that one does too. So I like that case. Someday I may, if it's still being sold, I may buy it and do two computers. You do a regular. It can take an ETX, but ETX is a lot of different ETXs, right? You can take an ETX motherboard in the main section, and then you put an ITX horizontally down in the bottom on top of the PSU shroud, and it can support 2 power supplies.
Yes, but Fantex has other cases too that can...
But this one is like, it's beautiful and big and roomy and cool. It's got room for 20 fans.
Yeah, it's insane. It's insane. You spend a little fortune only on fans.
I know. Yes? I know.
It's such an insane case. It's huge.
Matter of fact, I got a bunch of fans here. I got the fans laid out for this new build. It's sitting up here. Let me see.
I have a full tower case. It's called...
Too far out of reach right now. A full tower? What kind?
I have a Cooler Master Trooper. It's an old case.
Wow.
It has the handle on top. Yes.
Wow.
Because I damaged the case. I wanted to lift up the case, and it slid off my hands. Yes.
Oh no.
And I had to put the case together with duct tape. Yes.
Wow.
So after that case slid out of my hands, I said, "Oh, I need a case with a handle." Yes. Because this case is like 14 kilos without anything in it. Yes, just the case alone. Right. It's 14 kilos. And with all the hardware in it, I think it's like 20 or 21 kilos. So wow. I need the handle to actually lift it. When I do something on my PC, I need the handle to lift it, because otherwise I cannot lift it. Otherwise, I need this handle. Yes, the front panel broke.
Wow.
Yes. So I had to take apart the whole top of the case to replace the front panel. It took me like 4 hours. And while I did the front panel, at the same time, I did the fan. Broke too. The 200 millimeter fan on top broke too. So I replaced like both in one go. Took me 4 hours, but in the end it is done, and now I hope it doesn't break anymore, because I cannot get parts anymore for this case.
Wow. Well, I have down here the Corsair 200R. That's my main computer. Now, yes. You may have seen in one of my videos, I modded it. So I cut the side out and put a plexiglass on it, and I put my PE symbol, I engraved it onto the side. So that's what I have right here, right now. And I can see the RGB that's in there reflecting through my engraved symbol.
Nice.
So that was a whole project that I did with videos, as I recall.
Yes, you did.
And I also did the same thing on my server, right? I put an engraved piece of plexiglass on the side. But that case is heavily modded, right?
Indeed.
I'm sure you've seen it, right? My server case is heavily modded.
Yes.
And that has a water cooler in it. It's a 120 millimeter water cooler right in the front. So the CPU, which is an i5 8400K, I think. It has 6 cores. I'm not sure. I think it's 8400. And I added extra fans to it. So that fan that you see on the side of it, that was an RGB fan I added to it. But it's not RGB. It's not controllable. So I just set it to red and left it that way.
Yeah, the extra thin fan we needed for that case.
That's right. I had to look. That's right. You helped me with that. I had to find an extra thin fan for that case.
Yep.
That's actually on the other side. And that is controllable RGB. The one on this side, though, is not. It's just red only.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is, I could not modify like you do. I could not.
Yeah, I like one of my other hobbies are woodworking and metalworking. I have one of these days I'll make videos on my welder, on how to use a welder. I think I already did that once when I modded that case. I think I showed using the welder, but I didn't give any details on it.
Yes, I continued with my other, my other build, where the switch is on the wood. So I added, so I can hang it up because I want this computer out of the way. I do not want it on the floor because it needs to monitor small kittens, yes, and cats and kittens and dogs. They're always up to no good. So I will hang it up on the shower. On the shower glass, yes.
Right.
I will hang it up. So now I just need my Raspberry Pi back and put it on the wood because it's actually at the moment my backup PC. And for such a little PC, it's actually doing a great job.
Yeah, that's amazing, those little Raspberry Pis, right?
Indeed. With Ubuntu 20.10 on it, and I from time to time I run the sudo apt-get update, sudo apt-get upgrade. I run both just to check if there is anything new that needs to be updated and upgraded.
Right.
And in comparison to Windows, it's like, it's upgrading, it's updating.
It's
and
fast, yeah. Well, that's Unix in general.
Yes.
It doesn't waste time with all the garbage that Microsoft throws in there.
And the updates, it works afterwards. I do not even have to restart. Just when the kernel gets an upgrade, then I have to restart.
Wow.
But for the other updates, I do not have to.
It just keeps on going, yeah.
Yeah, it's insane. I am so glad I bought this little Raspberry Pi. I bought it like maybe 2 or 3 months before the PSU gave up the ghost. Yes.
Right.
Here, the other one has a PSU issue 2, I assume. I ordered both. I ordered the PSU and the board. I ordered both because I am sure if I only order one thing, it's not the thing that is broken.
Yeah. Well, that's the advantage of having spare parts, right?
Yes, and if I don't need the board, then I always have the board as backup, or I can build another computer for someone else that wants me to build a computer for him or her. It's not lost, but I know it's like if you take the umbrella, it will not rain. You forget the umbrella at home, it pours down after 5 minutes.
It's funny because I say that with I don't know if I actually said it on my video about my generator, but the way I prevent hurricanes from hitting us in New York is I go out and test my generator. So if a hurricane is like heading up the coast, I go out and test the generator, and then that guarantees that the hurricane's not going to hit us.
Yes. I get
My whole family takes off on that now, too. They say the same thing. My father's got to test the generator because every time I've done that, it didn't hit us. So one time I didn't do it. Guess what happened?
The hurricane hit, yeah.
Yes, and we've had a few hurricanes hit us here on Long Island. You don't have that problem up in Michigan, though.
No, not at all. Just
do you have tornadoes?
Tornado and blizzards, even less occasionally.
Well, we have tornadoes that touch down on Long Island every once in a while because it is relatively flat. We don't have any hills here.
Right.
And we do have tornadoes that do touch down. Matter of fact, there was this Carvel. You know, a Carvel is an ice cream place that sells soft ice cream. There was one that was right near my wife's house where she grew up. And when we got engaged, we actually stopped there on the way back from the park, which is where I had engaged. I had made my proposal, and we had ice cream. Well, that one day, a couple of years later, after we were married, a tornado hit Long Island. But it only touched down and took out the Carvel and went back up again.
Oh, no.
And I said, my goodness, there's like all kinds of other buildings that are useless nearby there. Why would it take out the Carvel?
The tornado didn't like ice cream?
I guess not. Or maybe it did like it. It had to get some. I don't know. But I got to be careful. Carvel causes me problems. When I had a previous job, I had to drive out to Eastern Long Island every day. And it just so happened that once I got off the highway and onto the side roads, right there in front of me at a split in the road, a fork in the road, right in the center of the fork was a Carvel. Too convenient. And I know my biggest weakness is a vanilla milkshake from Carvel. Unbelievable. It's hard for me to resist those. That's why I try to even avoid going near those places. That probably added a couple of pounds to me at least.
If this is why I have no sweets or biscuits or cakes or any of that stuff at home. If I have it
you avoid it that way, right?
Then I eat it. Should I eat it? No, because sugar is not good for my arthritis, and then I would have more pain. So it would be stupid to eat it. It's like red meat. Should I eat it? No, absolutely not, because then the pain goes up because of the acid in the meat.
Wow.
Yes, I have a list of things that I should not drink or eat. It's like
it's a long list, huh?
Yeah, it's a long list. You need an endless paper for it. You know, it's like boring. Yes, but
wow.
I cook for myself. I try to have good to eat correctly. You know, not too much, not
right. The right foods.
I'm anyway too fat, so this is why I should not eat. I had sweets at home for the Halloween. Yes, but that's the only time where I have sweets at my place for the Halloween. Then afterwards, I gave them away, so I do not eat them.
Do you have any cats, Jeremy?
No, I don't. I don't have any pets at all in my apartment.
Yeah,
just
we have two cats that we rescued. My daughters rescued, my wife and my daughters. They were kittens, but they were too old to be brought into the house. It took a long time before they got used to being in the house. And we can't hold them. Right. They will not let us hold them. They might let us pet them sometimes when they're lying quietly, but they still have the outdoor thinking to them, you know?
My one of my cats, Sam, she is the same. Yes, I now got to the point where I can pet her, and when I call her, she comes. But she's not a lap cat. You know, she would not sit on my lap, because when she has to go on my lap, always something bad happens, yes? I shove some anti-parasitic medication down her throat, or I need to vaccinate her, yes? It's not her fault, yes? It's mine, yes? Bakira, he's different. He's better. When I call him, he comes and he jumps up. So because he has another relationship to me, yes. Sam, I only have since June, yes.
Right.
And in June she was a mom to 4 kittens, so she learned to the first 2 months she was like, you know, hissing at me, yes. She saw me and she would hiss, yes. But and I tried to teach her that I'm not someone that she needs to be afraid of. But of course, she lived on the street, you know, and it took a while for her to realize that.
Right, it takes a while for them to get used to that.
Yes, the kittens at least they have now good families, and they got because I try to help cats, but I cannot keep every cat. Yes.
No, you gotta be careful about that. Well, the last technology thing I wanted to talk about was, and I already showed the diagram, my new Switch. Right, I have not opened this yet. I almost opened it tonight, but I suddenly got the idea that I would review this. That's why I put the network adapter in my computer. I can connect it up and test this. And I have the other computer that already has a 2.5 gig Ethernet on it. So I'll be able to have a mix of speeds as well. I'll connect the 2.5, I'll connect this one, and I should be able to do a decent test of this, right? And check the speeds between them. I could also, if this works, I could also put the 10 gig in that other computer and then have them talking 10 gig. I was a little disappointed because that B450 motherboard, it doesn't have a third PCIe 16 slot, which is what the 10 gig card needs. Actually, I think it needs an 8, but you know, the thing either has 1 or 16. It doesn't have 8, it doesn't have an extra 16.
What the Tomahawk?
No, this is the Asus B550.
Oh, the Asus.
B550. It's the one that I upgraded that PC to.
The Asus.
Yeah, it's the Strix. I think it's the Strix F. It's a cheaper one. There's an E and there's an F. It's a cheaper one of the two.
Yeah, the F is the cheaper. The E is more expensive.
Yeah, it's the F then. Yeah, it's the F. That was on sale, Micro Center. That's why it's in that computer. I've said this many times in my videos.
Near me.
Oh, is that?
Probably a good thing there's not a Micro Center near me.
Yeah, well, I wanted to go there and spend some. I'm going to be there Black Friday.
Oh, yeah?
I'm going to be there because I got some good deals there, really good deals.
When I can travel again, I go to New York, visit Louis Rossmann. I visit him in his
Now, he's the guy with the big YouTube channel, right?
in his store. And
Is he the guy that has like hundreds of thousands of subscribers? I know you work with one of them.
he has Louis has at the moment, I think, 1.2 million
Oh
subscribers.
my goodness! Yeah, so it's more than I thought. Yeah.
But he has quite a specialized channel because he does MacBook motherboard repair. So it's specialized. Paul Daniels is doing the same work, but Paul Daniels is in Australia, and there is TCRS is doing also the same work, but he's in California. So and I watch all three.
Jeremy's a big Mac person too, right, Mac? Right, Jeremy?
Yeah, I have been, and I'm still really on the fence about the new Apple Silicon Macs. They've been getting really good reviews, but right now I don't want to buy a first generation product. Let somebody else be the guinea pig for a year or two.
You don't want to be on the bleeding edge?
Right. You know, if they keep going with their neural engine and all the extra artificial intelligence componentry that they've put, built into the chip die, it could get interesting in a couple of years. So in case either of you haven't noticed, I did put a couple of things in the chat.
For this video?
Yes.
Oh no, I didn't notice.
So one I put in, it's a 10 gig managed switch with an MSRP of only $599, which is pretty reasonable for a 10 gig switch.
Right.
And the other is one of my go-to sites for building computers, PCPartPicker.com.
Yeah, I work with PC Part Picker very often. I even make full custom lists if the country is not supported by the PC Part Picker.
Right.
It takes me hours or even a day because I have to copy and paste like every link.
Wow.
And I need to adapt the prices for the other currency. Yeah, but I think it's a very good tool. But I wish if there is a custom setting so you can choose which currency it is. Because PC Part Picker is made by guys in the US, and I don't know, it's a weird thing with the US because many people in the US forget that there are other countries with other currencies, and the currencies, they might even look different because where I live in Colombia, we have a currency that goes into 1,000, yes, like 1,000 pesos is already $1, yes, or 2,000 pesos is like $4, things like that. So you get to very high amounts very quickly, yes, without even spending much money, if you know what I mean.
Right.
And they seem to forget that. And I told them, please. I was nice, yes, because normally when I can get I try to be nice, yes, but like Corsair said no to me, and I got angry. Yes, I was not nice anymore. Because how do you say, if I don't fight for myself, nobody will fight for me, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes?
Absolutely.
Yep.
So, and I actually want to be nice, but I can't, because companies or people, they think because I'm female or whatnot, that they can do with me what they want. And when Corsair says that their memory has lifetime warranty, then it has lifetime warranty, yes, because they said no, and then I got angry, and yeah.
You eventually got the replaced, though, right?
Yes, it took me 6 weeks.
Wow. That's a nice switch, Jeremy. I was just looking at it. It wasn't
Yeah.
one that I looked at when I was scoping out the ones.
Yeah, MikroTic makes some solid hardware. They just don't advertise a lot, so
Yeah.
doesn't have a lot of mind share in the U.S. They're pretty popular in Europe, though, from my understanding.
Is that $629? Is that what that looks like, the price?
$599 is the MSRP from their website.
Okay. Yeah, I got this switch for under 500. It had good ratings, so I went with it. But then I found bad ratings about it after I bought it. So it's like, but it turns out my serial number is not in the range of the bad ones. Apparently,
Gotcha.
they had a bad run of this one. I was going to mention that when I do the review of this, that there was a problem related to it allowing for the jumbo frame sizes. Apparently, they had a problem with a particular range. I guess they changed the firmware or something, probably. That's all they did, where it wouldn't work right with the jumbos. And some people were having some RMA problems with Netgear. To mention the same type of thing, Kathrin, sometimes, these manufacturers, they can be a real pain.
Yes, I had the feeling that they tried to weasel out. Yes,
yep, they weasel out of it. Yeah,
of what they first they make big promises, and then they try to weasel out.
Yep.
And then I went back to my, but with me they weaseled out because the memory, my other friend Steven, he gave me the memory because he didn't need it anymore. He gave me 2 motherboards, a CPU, a GPU, a ton of RAM, yes,
right.
And like 6 sticks of RAM. So because all these boards, they are AM3 plus boards.
Right.
So they're considered old in the US or in Switzerland. They are considered old, yes. But for here in Colombia, I can use them to build a computer for someone that otherwise could not even afford a part.
Wow, that's good. That's good.
So, and as long as the boards that he sent me, they are
working,
they're working, and they're high-end boards. It's not that he peeped out, because it's a 990FXA chipset. Yes, this was a high-end board. Yes, in 2011, 2012, this was a high-end board. Yes, my old board that I used in my before I had the Ryzen was a 870 chipset, AMD. So it was not as high as the board that he sent me. Yes, he sent me like 3 boards, BioStar. I can't get to run for some reason, and the 2 gigabyte ones. Yes,
right.
But you said about the Asus B450 XF. When I look at it, it has 3 PCIe slots. Yes, so it has a 16 and the 8 and probably a 4.
Yeah, well, I was looking at the board, and I didn't have a free 4. I didn't have a 4 free in it. I don't know why. I don't have anything else in there that I know of. It looks like there's only times 1 slot that I have available right now.
But you can put the 4. You can put the 4 in the lowest slot, in the 16 slot.
Right.
It still works.
Oh, I know what it was. I didn't want to give up that 16 slot. That's what I guess I could do it for testing, though. Because I want to put a capture card in there, an Elgato.
Yeah.
That's what it was. Now I remember.
I think if you put it in the lowest slot, it should still work, and you would not take away bandwidth from the other two slots. So you should be fine.
I'll try it. I mean, I'll see if I can get it. I have the second card, the same one that I put in this computer. I have another one of those, and I'll try it. But
Yes.
when I was looking at the MikroTic boards, Jeremy, all the ones that I saw that were reasonable price were the ones that had the SFP slots only. And those things get expensive to buy those things.
Yeah, they do.
So I was like trying to avoid the ones that were strictly with the SFP. I didn't see this one. This is the first time I'm seeing the one that actually has these so many RJ45 10 gig.
Right.
Would have cost me about another $120 that would have cost me to buy that one.
Yeah, they've also got, for people that are looking for something, just to dabble in the 10 gig, I think they've got like a 5-port.
Yeah, they do, a little
10
one.
gig
Yeah.
switch.
Yeah.
Just
Very
a little
cheap
guy. And it's very inexpensive compared to most switches out there.
But that's SFP, isn't it?
I'm looking right now, actually. Yeah, that's all SFP.
Yeah, because I was looking at that one originally. I had it on my wish list. And I was going to go that way if I found cheap SFPs, which I can't find, not even on eBay.
Yeah.
You're going to spend $40 each for those things.
Right.
Yeah. So for one connection, you just get, it's your fortune.
You also need the special cable because the cable is different.
It's nice with the SFP in a way because you could put fiber, and some of the fiber cables are actually cheaper to get, but I don't know if I'm ready to stomach fiber yet. Maybe, like I said, the next upgrade where I go for a managed switch rather than this one, that will probably have more ports, and I'll probably try to get more SFPs on it too. So it'll probably be closer to what I have now, like a 24-port 10 gig. Hopefully the prices drop down on those.
I would hope so. Then you'll be wanting a 20 or 40 gig switch.
Yeah, I know. What is it, 25 and then 40, I think, is the next two steps? Something like that. I thought
it was 20 and 40, but
20
it could
and 40,
be 25.
Okay.
Yeah, 25 and 40.
Okay.
Yeah, if you use copper, you have to use Cat 8.
I know, yeah. I can't make my own Cat 8 either. I looked into that. I can make my own Cat 7, but not my own Cat 8.
Yeah.
You need special tools for that.
I have a question, David.
Yes.
You know these, when you make your own cable,
right?
You have the cable itself,
right?
And then you have these parts that you use. The silver, that can be either made out of plastic or shielded.
Right.
Which brand do you use for those?
Well, for the Cat 7, I got a bunch of shielded ones. Shielding is important for Cat 7, and it's critical for Cat 8. But if you look at the cable, let me show you one. Hold on a second.
I only have Cat 5E.
Here, I bought 660 feet of this Cat 7 cable. It's thicker than Cat 6, significantly thicker. I had to buy different boots for it to fit on this. If you look at it, every colored pair where you have the, let's say the green and the green-white, that's inside of its own shielding. Orange and the orange-white, inside of its own shielding. The same thing with the blue and the blue-white and the brown and the brown-white. And then all of them are wrapped in its own shielding as well. You're supposed to use, and I've got a bunch of these. I bought a package of, I think 25 of these shielded ones. And for these, I can still use the same tool I have. It will work with these, but it will not work with the Cat 8.
Do you use a certain brands of those plastic or shielded ones?
Well, the ones I bought, I didn't shop around for anything special. I just found ones that were certified for Cat 7. They're right here. Let me share this with you. You'll see what I mean. I don't know if you can see it here. I bought a package, 50 of these for $35, and they are fully shielded. Here they go. And not only that, they have a wrapper, a metal wrapper that wraps around the cable in the back.
Oh, yes, this here. Yeah, this.
And it's very similar. It has the little feeder thing to get the cables together, just like the one I made in my video. So it's very similar to building those. It's a shielded connector.
I have, because with the ones that when I made well, I made the attempt of making my own cable, yes. I don't know if it's this part here or if I do something wrong.
Well, you got to be careful because it's critical when you make these things to have a really good crimper. I have like 3 crimpers. The first 2 that I bought were not good enough. The third one I bought was a precision crimper. Cost me a lot more. That crimper cost like $60.
I see. Maybe it's the crimping tool.
The crimper is critical for this, yes.
That is not good because...
And then, of course, I have the analyzer tool I showed you before, right?
Yeah, I want to get the Scout. It's like smaller than yours.
Right.
But from the same
company?
Yeah, from Klein or Kleine.
Klein, yeah.
I think the Scout that will do, and I think it's like cheaper. It's like half the price of the one that you have.
Right.
But, between you and me, it's a big difference because you actually know what you do.
Well, it's trial and error. The first few of these that I built didn't work.
Yeah, I have.
You go back years because I've been doing this for years. Probably it goes back at least 12 years. I've been making my own cables.
My testing, my small tester that I have, it shows me errors, and I don't know if it's the plastic thing or if it's a crimper. But if you say it might be the crimper, yeah, maybe.
Yeah, the crimper is critical. It's a critical part of it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just something you have to, realize when you're doing that it is critical to this.
Yes, maybe I have to get a crimper.
It depends how many you want to do. I mean, I've done so many cables and I have so many outlets. And the original outlets that I had, they have a different type of junction in there. They're not the ones you punch down. The ones where it required a connector at the other end of the cable. All of my Cat 5Es don't have the punch down version of it. They actually have one that's just a female to female that goes into the same wall plate. And by the way, you're going to see me using those when I set up my new network rack, because I already have on the front of all of those cables, I've already got the connectors. I'm not going to cut them off and then punch them down. So I made sure I got the distribution panel that will accept and has already built into it a bunch of Cat 6 female to female. And you'll see that when I'm doing that video. I'm going to show that why I did that, because I don't want to have to cut the heads off of those. They work fine. So all I had to get was a different keystone that is not punch down. It's one that's just female to female, but it goes into the same spot, on the distribution panel.
Yes. Will you do like a time when you make the video? Will you just do a time? What do you call it? Like when the camera.
Speed it up. You speed it up, you mean, or?
No.
Oh, the time lapse.
Time lapse.
Yes, when you set the camera up and every 30 seconds it makes a picture, so you can
right, time lapse. Yeah, you could do that. Yeah, my camera does that. Both my 4K cameras do that.
Yes, I think that would be very interesting. So.
Well, I'm getting. This is something I know it was on the subject originally. We should have got to it earlier. So I apologize, but the talking about our equipment, that we use for YouTube, right? I think that was on the list at one point, right, Jeremy?
Mm-hmm.
And I have a total of 3 4K cameras. I have the Akaso, which is a sports camera. And then I have my Sony ZV-1. This is my go-to camera right now. It's nice and light and small, and it has a remote grip to it. I can take this grip off, and I usually have this on my table. I put the camera on the tripod, and I can control the camera from here.
Yeah, it's neat.
This one I like. Now, I can do the same thing with my Panasonic. I have to use my iPhone for that. This Panasonic, which is the first 4K, really good DSLR camera that I bought. I got a good price on it, like I usually do. I bought the previous model of it. I bought the 1000, not the 1002. So the difference being is I don't have a touch screen. The little flip out screen that you have, it's not a touch screen on this one. So I have to use a little wheel on the back to control it, but that's okay. It doesn't bother me. Once I set it up anyway, I don't play with it. But this one here, it came with what you see here, except for the tripod. It came with the shade. It came with all of that. So it's just a nice camera. It does 4K, but the only problem it has, it's heavy. And it also does not, it breaks all the video up. And I understand that that was a requirement brought about by the motion picture industry on these DSLRs, that you cannot make one video beyond 4 gig. The camera automatically starts a new one. And then when you go to edit it, you got all these 4 gig ones. That's about 5 minutes, 5.5 minutes.
Oh my God.
And you have to put them all together. And so if you have a long video, you got a problem. You're dealing with a lot of pieces. This one is more meant for using for still pictures, whereas this one here is meant for video. So they have different purposes. As a matter of fact, this is Sony's vlogger camera, because this is a vlogger grip. You fold it like this, and you can hold it like this in front of you. I do that very rarely, but it is available if I want to do it, because this little holder here turns into a little mini tripod too.
Yeah, it's quite
so that's my equipment that I use. And of course I have the Akaso and a few other things, but that's some of the equipment that I use for this. And obviously you see the shade, you see the pull down that I have back there. I made a video about that as well. But the equipment is something that really adds up in terms of what it's going to cost you to do this stuff,
I have a Logitech webcam C525. I mean, for streaming. So my equipment, and I have a headset, but only mono, because when I worked in the customer service, I had a mono Plantronics mono headset too, and now I have a mono headset also from Plantronics, because it's lighter, you know. Right. And I also like to have one ear free, so if my cats are doing something,
you want to hear them, yeah.
I am capable of hearing it and not be completely surprised of
well, that's the way I've been right here, right? Look, one ear free.
Exactly. So the Plantronics, I found this, it's nice, it's a gaming headset, but it's mono. So, because I like to hear what they are doing, you know, because I don't have to tell you, David, cats are like...
they get into trouble, yeah.
Small children, because the moment you turn your back to them, they're bound to get into problem. Or Bagheera is doing something to Sam that he should not do, because he knows that I'm now not here, and I'm not looking at him, and I'm not controlled, so he gets up to mischief, you know.
Well, you've seen it on my videos, but behind that screen is a window that they like to hang out in. And we used to have a lot of little trinkets and stuff on there. And I had more than one early video where they're knocking stuff off of there because they're in their way. They want to sit and get in the sun, or they want to watch something outside. And all they'll do is something's in their way to just knock it off. Yes,
exactly. Yes, I only know it too well. When Bagheera wants his food, he begins to throw things from my shelf.
Oh my
goodness. He begins to throw them down, and then I don't pick them up until he had his food, because when I pick them up and I put them back, he does it again.
Yeah, so he wants you to get his food.
Yeah, he wants my attention, so he begins to get into mischief. Yes, but he has his feeding time. He is fed at 7 o'clock in the morning and at 6 o'clock at night. Yes, so Sam, she only begins to meow 5 minutes before it's actually 7 or 6. Right. But Bagheera, he begins half an hour earlier.
Yeah, I think ours are half an hour early too.
Why not? Huh?
So anyway, I got a lot of new cables to run with this stuff. It's going to be a major project doing my networking. So
you will be busy with crimping, huh?
yeah, when next time you see that corner there, it's going to look totally different.
Yes,
anyway, I think we've gone long enough, to be honest with you. What do you think, Jeremy?
I think we're good.
Is there anything else anybody wanted to mention? I'm going to get yelled at again for talking too much.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
Anyway, I do appreciate everybody's show.
Okay,
Anyway, for
well,
those who have taken the time to watch and got this far in the video, thank you so much. This will probably be within part 2, is my guess. If you got anything out of this that you found useful, I would appreciate you considering subscribing to my channel. That's only if you got something useful. And please visit Jeremy's channel and subscribe to his, and also with Kathrin. So until the next time, I appreciate everybody's. Does anybody want to say anything in closing?
Thank you very much, David. Thank you very much, Jeremy. It was very nice to be able to talk to you both.
Same here.
Yes, thank you for coming, Kathrin. It was interesting having a third person and adding a female to the party.
Okay, well, thanks a lot, everybody, for watching, and thank everybody for participating. And until the next time, take care and stay safe.